and welcome to another episode of Gist with Lena. Today we have a phenomenal and energetic young lady in the house. She's a writer, a social impact and volunteerism advocate. She runs her own online community and it's called Create Your Haven. She's none other than Esther Audu. It's a pleasure. Like, it is really a pleasure having you today.
Thank you, Lina. It's my pleasure to be here with you today.
All right. We'll be discussing identity and identifying opportunities. So I understand you are, if it's not an understanding, Joe, you know that. You're a social media influencer in your own right. I know you don't like me saying it, but then I always say, do you know an influencer? Yes, Esther will do this one. You own your own online community called Create Your Haven. And there's so much going on there, especially with regards to self-esteem, identifying yourself, purpose, talent, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I really want us to talk about that and also give a bigger picture when it comes to this thing called identity. So what is identity to you?
Okay, so identity is the character and difference that exists in people. A person's authentic self, what makes you you, that where you don't have to mask yourself to fit into anything. You are just you because it is who you are. It is the core essence of yourself. Basically, just being authentic, your authentic self is what your identity is.
Okay.
In simple terms.
Yeah, I'm highlighting authentic. So what is opportunity? Like, what are opportunities? What is an opportunity?
Right. So opportunities basically, in simple, in clear terms that I can say right now, is taking a chance for advancement, basically. Where you see opportunity to be better, to do better, or to aim. It doesn't have to be a monetary gain. It has to be the experience,
yes,
the knowledge, the network, the community you build. They're all opportunities, and then you don't have to tie yourself down to monetary gain, because people do talk about opportunities and then tie themselves down to
just
aiming
money, yeah,
from it, and then they call it opportunity. And opportunity goes beyond that. It has a vast meaning to it. So
wow.
Yes,
That's really an eye-opener. So I'm highlighting authentic self.
yes,
I'm highlighting taking a chance. Like, that one struck me. Taking a chance. So this brings us down to the main cocoa of the matter.
right.
How does your identity identify your opportunities? Because I believe, okay, you said opportunities, it's taking a chance, striving to be better, looking for outlets or platforms, yes, that would actually help you grow, be better. So if you're able to discover your authentic self, how do you link it? How do these two things play a role in helping you?
Okay, so you have to know what you are, the whole essence of who you are. You have to know it first, and then you chase your dream in that regard. So for instance, if maybe your focus is music, you have no business being in sciences, even though the society will tell you that there is purpose and there is something you have to do to get to the purpose that you want to get to, and that's really fine. But then there's a place that you have to get to. There's this understanding you need to have that you are going to chase something that is stronger than just being in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So where your opportunity and your identity, identifies your opportunities, is when you know who you already are, and then you chase that path, because that this is a path. Because your identity normally just gives you a direction of where to go and where you need to be. So you don't have to be somewhere else. You don't have to divide your attention in different places. You know that this is your focus, this is your goal, and you're going there. So identity comes to play because you see people chasing dreams that they are not familiar with. They're chasing dreams that they don't even know the end of.
Yeah, the essence.
They're just, yes, the essence of it. They're just going because they feel like, okay, people are doing this, let me do it too.
That's right.
And it really goes aside people's identity because you find yourself struggling in places that you don't belong. So to find ease and speed, you need to be in alignment with your identity, who you are, what are you, and what is the essence of you being here. So when you break this down to the essence of why you are here on earth, it's easier for you to chase the path and to just be whatever you need to be.
All right. It's so, as you are talking, I just remembered some things that happened to me back in secondary school. That final exam before SS1, there's a way my school usually does it that time, where they segment. Okay, you have to do all the courses: science, commercial, and art courses, humanities, all put together in GS3, and then from there they'll just separate you into various classes. For me, I think I started identifying myself in a way, because I always knew science class is not really for me. I wasn't really a dullard. I was terrible at math. I sucked at that. But then, the chemistry, the whatever, I didn't really have bad grades, you know? And so there was a point in time that after the exams, my principal called me and was like, Ruth, why don't you just go for science class? Why are you opting for arts class? I was like, sir, I know. That time we did not have sense. We did not have sense, but then I was bold enough to actually tell him that it's not because I can't do it, but I feel that is not where I am supposed to be.
Wow.
As far back as then. And that really helped me because I stepped into the arts class quite alright, but I didn't really have a direction. Was it to do learning, mass comm? I was just going, I was just moving. So I felt, okay, this is it, these are the things, because it encompasses a lot of things. So just to open up this topic of identity and identifying the opportunities, I was able to find myself in the right direction. Now I'm coming back to the matter. How do you identify opportunities? Because if you're not in one conference yet, if you're not doing one course yet, you're just busy, but you are out there and you are chasing your dreams. You are doing something that is always bringing you up and building your portfolio, and it is really, really inspiring. So how do you identify opportunities? Is it that you have a list of things you want to do, you study them, or whatever comes your way, you just jump at it? Because I saw you you were recently on a poetry competition. You're not really the poet, but you're a writer.
Yes.
So like you also jumped at that. Someone would actually say that like say this one don't miss road, but it's all part of it. So how do you identify opportunities?
Okay, so for me it was easier for me to identify what I wanted out of this life because I already knew who I was, or who I am rather, because I still am. And then so it's just something that I know this is me, and I have a path, I have an assignment, there's purpose, there's assignment, and in getting to the destination I need to carry out my assignments, and in doing the assignments I have purpose to accomplish and all of it. So they form the whole essence of what I do on the social space. You don't see me on social media comment sections commenting whatever, and I think people don't utilize social media platforms normally.
Yeah.
Because it's the same social media platform that people do go there and then sometimes get banned by the team of Facebook or any social media app. I just made a casual comment and I want some dollars, like just a comment, and they just said send your account number. I said, is this real? And they sent the money, and it's not small. So
things are happening.
Yeah, things are happening. So first is that I identified basically who I was, and I started looking for people who are on the path to where I am going. So I don't follow anyone. As interesting as your content is, I can't feed myself because you are not who I want to be. So I decided to guide my space and to protect it as much as I could, because it's there's something that they do say that the social media platform, it keeps memories and it doesn't forget. Social media never forgets.
Never.
So as much as I know that I have a destination to go, and I have foreseen myself with the help of God that this is who I am going to become and this is where I'm going to, I don't throw comments casually, insensitively rather, so that one day these comments not implicate me. And this has helped me because opportunities have found me. A brand reached out to me a certain time and they wanted me to be a professional commenter. If that was the term they used, but I was wondering, okay, what is the job description? Just strategic commenting. When you make a post, comment on it. And there was money. So this is the same social media that people go there to insult and rant. So I found opportunities first by knowing who I was and by doing what I need to do. So I follow platforms that help me get the opportunities. I volunteer, most importantly, because I know that volunteering for social causes and promoting these causes will help me have the experience. It will help me build my network and all of it. There are so many advantages to volunteering. Exactly. So because I have decided to get more opportunities, I wanted to put myself out there because the world is actually too big for us to be tied down in a corner. And then because we are here, we don't know what is happening out there, but then there's actually so much more. And then until you step out of your comfort zone, you won't really know, because you see that some people are I mean, no offense or an offense, but then some people have limited themselves to celebrity in their domain. But one thing I've kept in my mind is, Esther, you are light of the world, you are salt of the earth. I'm not limited to my state, I'm not limited to my country, and my aim is to the ends of the world, ends of the earth, basically. So whenever I'm doing anything, my focus is not just on where I am. I apply for opportunities that I know that it will expose me to the wider world. I attend MEN conferences because I feel like I will learn more on advocacy, public speaking, networking, and all of it. So there are so many benefits to that. And because I just knew that this is where I'm going to, and because I know here I'm going, the place I'm going to demands so much, so I need to prepare myself now, because I cannot get to the future that God is planning for me unprepared. Alright. So I think that's it.
So understanding your direction in life, understanding your purpose would actually help you identify the opportunities that will take you in that direction.
Yes.
That's deep. That's a lot. That's a lot. So how can low self-esteem, how has low self-esteem affected your ability to identify opportunities, and how can it actually affect other people's ability to identify opportunities?
Okay, so I run an online community, Creator Haven, and the community is for people living with low self-esteem, people who have lived with low self-esteem, or people who have stories to share concerning low self-esteem, to find their fire, build a healthy esteem, and cultivate an unconditional self-worth. So the idea of this online community came from a personal experience, what I have experienced some years back, and I felt like creating a community for people who can share their stories, for people to learn, and people to speak their minds without fear of being judged, will help me pass the message faster and easier. And then it has really affected me in some instances where I see an opportunity, it's really great, and then something will just tell me, but you don't belong there. Somehow I just feel like you don't belong there. But then there's nothing wrong in taking the chance. It's okay if you try and it doesn't work. They're not trying at all. So it comes more like an imposter syndrome. You just be there, and before you know it, you feel like you're not adequate to carry on a position and activity or something. And then it has over time affected other people too, because low self-esteem is something that you just feel it. I'm finding it hard to use the best word to describe it, but then it just makes you feel not adequate for anything good, and then you feel like other people deserve better than you do. And what helped me in overcoming low self-esteem is that, okay, what exactly is making me feel the way I feel? Because most at times, more often than not, people have low self-esteem because of their body, mostly either body or one factor or the other. And then because people do, the society we are people are not too kind enough, people's words are too bitter. So sometimes we throw off some comments for our own sake. The comment isn't harmful, but for someone you have really brought the person's esteem down. And then as simple as saying, but you look too fat today, oh, I hope you are not eating too much, you're not finishing. To you, it's just, you are joking, you are just passing out a comment and making the person know that okay, the person has added weight. But to that person, you have given me a wrong impression that the person is working, but in his mind, I look too fat, so I need to work in a certain way so that I won't show the world that I am this fat. And it happens to slim people too. People do say that they are too slim and then they are trying to eat too much. I have a friend who took a day she consumes at least 5 bottles of Coke because she feels like taking it or consuming it to make her fatter, but then it hasn't worked for her. So it still comes back to you knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, it's easier for you to relate with the world. And I do say that people should not let the world give them a bitter taste of its medicine. They should speak love into existence. And as much as I could, this is what I've been trying. It's okay for you to look the way you look because it is you. Nobody has to be you, because our differences is what makes us unique. Our authenticity and all of it, all of the factors that make us us is what we are. And I believe God is a God of variety. If he wasn't, he wouldn't create the rainbow. He wouldn't have made Adam and make Eve. He would have made us all in the same pattern. He has the ability to do that, but nonetheless he chose to do what he did. So low self-esteem really has a way of taking opportunities out of people because you feel like you're not adequate enough for this opportunity and you don't have the right right profile and qualifications for it. But there's nothing wrong in taking a chance. Sometimes I take some opportunities and people will be like, why are you doing that? Why are you putting yourself out there the way you are doing? But the truth is that in the next century we all will not be here. So I put at the back of my mind that whatever it is that anybody is saying now, in the next century we are dead. So literally, in fact, in the next 100 years, very few people, if there is any, will still be here. So at the end, what really matters that I have lived a life that I am satisfied with, God is happy with, and I have taught at least a person, which I don't intend to touch a person only, because as I've said earlier, I'm light of the world, salt of the earth, and I'm going out there to shine the light.
Something going to happen. Going places to happen. Alright, so coming down to, we're still talking about this low self-esteem thing. And sometimes it's actually as a result of family background. So how does one coming from maybe dysfunctional family backgrounds or humble beginnings, some low beginnings, how do such people tackle that low self-esteem with regards to reaching out or jumping at opportunities?
Okay, so a quick one. Most of the courses that I've taken, I never had the money for it, but then I was able to leverage on volunteering. I volunteered for people who I know that I will gain something from, and it's been an amazing journey. So first thing first, being born in this family wasn't your choice to make. You didn't make that choice. Even your parents did not make the choice to choose you to be one of them. But then becoming who you want to become is your responsibility, and you have to be adamant about your dreams. You have to be focused, too focused to know that you must get to that destination, whether or not your background has something to do with it. Because sometimes I do have questions from people saying that, okay, you are traveling for this course, for this conference, how do your parents allow you to travel? And I'm like, okay, are they supposed to cage me? Truly, but are they supposed to cage me? Even though it's true that every parent is protective of their words, and it's really okay. But then sometimes when you are adamant about what you want, they will be able to promote what you want for you. My first MEN conference, my brother sponsored the trip.
Wow.
The first virtual one, my mom subscribed for the conference. So they, even though they don't have the perfect picture of exactly what I want, they trust that I'm able to do to make decisions that are right for me. And this goes to being responsible for yourself and your actions. You don't expect yourself to be here and there, here and there. You are creating room for doubt in your parents' mind, and all of a sudden you want to travel. Why do you want to travel? So you have to be what you want them to think you are. And I think it has made it easier for me to communicate with my parents, because everybody, it's as much as there's social proof, there's physical proof. I do it when I in the money. I tell them I got this money, I did this, and they are happy because you know that I won't do the wrong thing.
Exactly.
So yes, that's it. Just know that being born in the family you were born in is not your choice to make, but the place you are going to is your choice to make. And if you have to get there, you have to come out of your shell. You have to know that you have to do better than you are doing now, regardless of what the people in the world will say. Sometimes you may not have the qualification, you may not have the expertise or whatever it is to carry out that task, but there's no harm in trying. Just try.
There's no harm in trying.
Yes.
There's no harm in trying. So in summary, before we wrap this whole thing up, just a word of advice to whoever is out there struggling with low self-esteem, trying to find their way in the world, trying to identify themselves. What can you say to the person?
Okay, so for people living with low self-esteem, people who presently are battling to get rid of what the society will say aspect of it, if there's anything I would say is you are too good of a human to remain in your cage. There's something in you that the world needs. You are not a mistake, and the moment you put that at the back of your mind, you know that you have an assignment, and in kind of that assignment, you don't have time to waste thinking of what people think of you or what you yourself think of yourself. You have to leave your shell and be done with your assignments. And remember that in the next 100 years, very few of us, if there's any, will be alive. So there's really no need thinking of what people will say, and your background doesn't define you. There's so much you can be, there's so much opportunities you can leverage on, there's so much to you than you believe, and you have to find that place of discovery. You have to discover who you are for you to chase your dream. So I think it's possible. That's just the bottom line of it all. Everything is possible. Whatever you want to be is possible, and you should do that already.
All right. There's something I came across. Your imagination, what you see, what you dream about, it's God's proof for you that it is yours already. I think there's a speech like that from Denzel Washington. So I would really recommend that speech to anybody struggling with low self-esteem. So this is it. But if you really want more content concerning low self-esteem, trying to grow and break out of your shell, kindly follow Create Your Haven. Create Your Haven on Facebook. That is our online community. So you're going to be seeing and reading a lot more of this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So Esther, thank you so much. It's been an honor having you. I have enjoyed every bit of the session.
Thank you, Lina. It's my pleasure to be here again.
All right, well, see you next time. Bye.